Hello everyone, my name is Dr. Anuja Ashtewale. I am co-founder and director of Imperial School of Banking and Management Studies, and welcome you all to our podcast series of Finance Picks. So today we have with us Mr. Nilaanjan Tripathy. He is from Citrin Cooperman and he works in L&D department with Citrin. So let me welcome you first, Nilaanjan, to our podcast series of Finance Picks.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. So we have been talking a lot on the topic of GCC in our earlier podcast also. We have covered the basics about GCC, how GCC works, and particularly for finance student, how finance student can make a career into GCC. So now Nilanjan is a part of US GCC, so he will be the right person to guide us on how student can make career, particularly in US GCC. So we will start our podcast with very simple questions so that it will benefit our student fraternity at large. So let us start.
Sure.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So very basic, and the first question, since you work in L&D, so obviously L&D works very closely with hiring team. So what do you think, hiring trends are changing in GCC, particularly US GCC? If you can give this example and explain it in detail.
Sure, of course. It's a very good question. So, see, first of all, I think with US GCCs or GCCs in totality, I think the hiring trends have shifted from a cost center to a value center. So now GCCs are used as a value centers. And they are no more looked at as a cost center. So from an industry perspective in hiring, we have a lot of talent in our country. And, that is where the mid-sector gap, which is a big gap in the US, is being fulfilled here in India through GCCs, right? From a trend perspective, what we are now looking for is, while we are looking for, students, we are looking for freshers, we are hiring at every capability. And even paid internship that can turn into a full-time job. So what we are looking for is wherein we want people to fit into the culture of the firm. They should know they should have basic knowledge about what is happening in the US, how is the finance different in the US from India, and what are the things that is required. Similarly, certain degrees, for example, like, you can be a CA. Okay. You can be a CFA, the Indian degrees. But when it comes to US, while these degrees are invaluable, in US, it is also required that if you can do an additional degree like EA, enrolled agent, and the highest that you can do is a CPA, that is a certified public accountant. So such degrees actually help them to, make their mark in the US industry and gives them credibility. Because when you have degrees like these, they establish you as a professional. Like how if you are a CA, you are looked upon in a different way, right? But having said that, organizations are ready to groom people. Even if you're not, even if you do not have those degrees, it's still fine. The organizations are there to support you, and they would even sometimes pay for your education. But the point is that the trend is now no more about just degrees. Degrees an added advantage, of course, but we are hiring in every sector. Okay. And we are open to hire people with strong communication, good knowledge of the product, and we don't mind grooming them further, because that's where learning and development comes into picture. We will be helping them with everything that is required to be performing in our firm the way we are looking for. So I think that would be the current trend, and that is how it is going to be for a long time. Degrees along with improvisation, wherein we can help them understand more.
Okay, wonderful. So opportunities are exploding as new US GCCs are setting up in India. So India is a favorite destination for US GCC. That is there. But to make it more simpler, if you can explain this is vertical wise. Like if we general public, a general student knows that if student is CA, he can make a career into taxation, which caters to Indian client.
Absolutely.
So how this EA and CPA help student going ahead?
Okay, fair question. So see, when you're doing Indian accounting, if you have a CA degree, you know everything about Indian accounting, and that works for us. Even for that fact, accountancy in principle remains the same overall, right? Now, when it comes to US, because the country is different, the geography is different, the requisition is different. So let's say even if you're a CA or if you're a finance graduate, you can actually get your EA degree as well. EA is your enrolled agent degree, and this is your, I would say, the second top degree that you can get after CPA. So if you're not going for CPA directly, you can even go for EA. You can even go for EA and CPA, and you can even go for CPA if not EA.
Okay.
So you can actually take care of all of these things. If you have these degrees, it is easier for us to place you in a US accounting firm.
Okay.
Although it is not a mandate that you must have it, we will still hire. But the point is that if you're a degree holder, like a EA or a CPA degree holder, it is a very big added advantage.
Okay.
And it directly helps us to choose you. It becomes that easy.
Okay, wonderful. So somebody takes up EA, then he can work in taxation with
Yes, he
CPA firm.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, understood. So this is for charter bodies like EA and CPA. What is there in basket for management students?
See, for management students as well, I think if they're looking for a finance domain, especially in a finance domain or a CPA firm like ours, I think we do hire MBA finance students as well. Okay. Again, like I said, you can continue to work for a good career without an EA or a CPA degree.
Okay.
If you even have an MBA degree from a reputed institute like yours.
Okay.
Right. So that helps. The only thing is that your theory knowledge should be an applied knowledge.
Okay.
So something that we can rely on. So if you come with a degree, which is great, but you need to also know how to operate, how to work on accounting, and you should know how to answer the questions that are being asked related to your subject. So again, I would say that, if you are a finance student from a management institute, you have all the equal chances like how an EA or a CPA would have.
True.
The only thing is that EA and CPA is an added advantage, but not mandatory.
Okay. So what if along with our PGDM, as our PGDM course is also very well curated to address the need of finance industry, what if we bundle it with our PGDM program?
That would be great. I think that is one of the best thing that you can do, because I hardly see or have hardly heard, then that's me, but I haven't heard any university or a college doing an EA degree with a PGDA course. So I think if you're doing that, that would be a big advantage, because a person is already good in India finance. He already has management experience. On top of it, that person will also have EA as a degree, which will just increase the chances to be placed.
Okay.
And it will increase in a bigger manner, not just an average increase.
Okay. If may I ask you, if we bundle these two courses together, will you hire from Imperial?
Yes, of course. Why not?
Okay.
I mean, if there's an opening, we would definitely hire from Imperial or any other institute, because the point is that if Imperial is doing this, you are basically giving us a ready resource from a US accounting standpoint.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
And if the person still wants to go ahead and pursue for CPA, let's say, in the future, that would be double advantage for that person.
Okay.
Because you are an EA and a CPA. Just like how I think in India you have CAs and CFAs, they have 2-3 degrees together, right?
True.
So it's an added advantage. But this will definitely help a firm like ours to hire immediately if they can just crack the interview properly.
Okay. Very well explained. Now, my last question comes, like there is everywhere technology. So no sector, can operate without technology. So if we, consider US, GCCs, how will you explain this? How technology is taking shape in various verticals that are there in US GCC?
That's a great question. See, tech is everywhere, to be honest. And I think it is entering into the accountancy division now faster than ever.
Yep.
Okay, like AI is the buzzword right now. Every firm is running behind AI, right? And I think AI is one fundamental course or knowledge that one must possess just to ensure that, they are not left behind the game. So AI is now being a part of accountancy as well. So you must have heard from recent news that bigger firms out there have already started implementing AI as a tech. And, AI is the biggest tech that is currently being implemented in our firm as well. So every firm is now looking for sophisticated solutions, like automated solutions from that can use AI and that can kind of reduce the manpower work, reduce any deficiencies and increase efficiency.
Okay.
It will still require human touch. So there's nothing to be worried about, because even to run it properly, you need your brain.
Exactly.
And which I think an institute like yours is already providing to the students. Right now, all they have to do is just master a little bit of tech, or at least get themselves acquainted with how AI works. And in the foreseeable future, the smaller roles will obviously be reduced, but the smaller roles will move towards bigger roles. So people will have bigger chances if they just know how to operate tech. So tech is definitely going to be a part, and it's an unavoidable part. AI is definitely going to be a mandate in even accounting firms like ours.
Exactly. So it is not optional now.
No,
it is
it is not
mandatory.
optional.
So we also need to add a good component of AI in our syllabus.
Absolutely, that would be a very big advantage for them.
Right.
And like I said, right, accounting is now turning towards AI. Okay, even we have been designing a lot of programs that caters AI in it, and it is a mandate now, like how you rightly said. So if people just get into AI a bit, or at least understand the fundamentals of it, we are not expecting experts, but we are expecting that you should have fundamental knowledge, so that if given a chance, you can work on it, right? So to answer your question, it's no more optional. It stopped being optional for a very long time now.
Correct.
So it's just that now accounting industries are also taking it further.
Understood. So far we discussed on a lot of skills, like how EA, CPA, even our management course can make our students employable at US GCC. One last question related to this skill, because you see there are a lot of skill gaps you observed, and these are technical skill gaps that we right now discussed. But how will you place this communication gap in in the hierarchy of these skills?
Number one.
Okay.
Communication gap is
Wonderful.
number one. To be honest, for example, there are a lot of people who would graduate from an institute, right? Now, there are a lot of people who would come for an interview as well. But if you cannot communicate what you know, if you cannot speak properly, if you cannot write a proper sentence, if you cannot articulate your words, it is no good to us, because at the end of the day, you still have to deal with clients, you still have to deal with people. And without communication, nothing is possible. Communication, if you are good at it, you have already won the battle 50%. Rest of the things can be groomable, it can be taught, your technical deficiencies can be fixed, all of these things can be done. But if you're not good in communication, it is a little difficult at this stage to improve it. So you have to make sure that communication remains your top priority, because without communication, the first round of interview gets cancelled.
Exactly, spot on. So communication plays an important role than any other skills. So today in this podcast, we learn a lot about how US GCC works. What is the exact scopes once finance student can see going ahead in US GCC. Then we discussed on how EA CPA works in such organizations, and how management student along with these charter bodies can make their career going ahead. Thank you so much, Nilanjan, for joining in this podcast.
My
And
pleasure.
thank you so much for this invaluable inputs. It is going to help a lot to our students.
Absolutely. I hope it was helpful. Thank you so much for that. And I wish you the best to your students and your institute.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.